What's going on, everyone? It's Jay from Review It. Now, it has been a couple weeks since I posted the last video, and I do apologize. I've been very busy with work and also spending time with the family. I did go take a little vacation up to North Carolina to do the Tail of the Dragon with the Subaru. It was very fun, and that's a whole different video of showing some of the stuff that we did do out there in North Carolina and Tennessee as well. Cool little shirt I got, says I survived the Tail of the Dragon. Wearing that shirt today. Hopefully in the future I can post a video of how the trip went and some of the different places we went. But with this video, I had a friend reach out to me, and he was just like, Jay, I want you to build my computer. I said, sure, go ahead and buy the components that you wanted me to install, and I will build it. No problem. I'm always willing to help a friend out. So he told me that he wanted to use some of his old components due to financial reasons, and wanted to keep the price down as best as possible. And hey, that's no problem. You don't always have to buy new everything when you build a PC. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be installing in a new case. We're going to be installing a new motherboard, processor, RAM, water cooler as well. Also, we're going to be reusing his power supply, SSD, SATA drive in there as well. Reason for that, power supplies is kind of pricey. He did purchase a new GPU due to he was running a 660 in his last rig, so he ended up going with a new graphics card as well. So let's dive down into it and let's see some of the products that he picked out for us to install for him. Alright, so first thing we have is here's some of the product. Nice case. Now this case is a DIYPC case. So that is a pretty nice case, smoked out tempered glass in the side, the front, and the back as well. Motherboard, what we're going with is the Asus ROG Strix. This is a Z390E gaming motherboard. So we're going with this Intel Core i5 unlocked. Now this is i5 9600K. We're going with Corsair Vengeance DDR4. Now I did recommend 16 gigs, but he did go with 8 gigs. He is just strictly using this for gaming. He isn't doing any type of work stuff on there or any heavy induced programs or anything like that. For a budget game card, video card, he ended up going with a 1060 6 gig DDR5. Now EVGA makes very good graphics cards. I've ran them in the past, haven't had any issues whatsoever. What he mostly plays, believe it or not, is not very graphics intense games, but he wants the opportunity to start playing some other games like Fortnite, Black Ops 4, Destiny 2. But so this is where that's going to come into effect. Now also what we have here is the EVGA closed loop CPU cooler. This is a 240mm rad. We're going to be finding a spot where we're going to be mounting this, and then we have the case. So let me go ahead and move some of these components out of the way, and we'll start opening up the case and take a better look at the case. So this is the case. So this case is a DIYPC case. It's called the Vanguard RGB case. Pretty nice case. So as you see, you have the tempered glass here on the side, and so tempered glass here on the side. Spin this around. In the front as well, it looks like it does have pre-installed fans. You have a pretty decent amount of USBs in the front. So it looks like LED button, USB, microphone, also a headset, power button, massive power button. Look at that, size of my thumb. A reset button. It looks like a processing light, USB 3.0, 3.0, and then a switch. That's the first time I've seen that. A fan high and low. So there's also like a medium. The top is vented, has a nice mesh on there as well. Let's spin this around. I do apologize. I've been sick the last couple days, so my sinus has been killing me. Back area is also tempered glass as well. Now, you know, it's not that cheap plexiglass or anything like that. Now, this is a mid-size case, so you have a nice size fan here, slots, power supply is going to be also mounted on the bottom. So as you guys can see. So let's go ahead and spin this back around. And open her up. Alright, so what we have here is the inside of the case. So it gave us a fan there, looks like it's already wired. Also see some LEDs in there, that's pretty cool. So I love LEDs. LEDs on fans, 3 fans in the front, wow. So nice cool thing about this case, it actually has a shroud over the power supply. Now he is running kind of like a no-name power supply, so that is a huge factor because I didn't want it to be exposed in the case since we're reusing that. I did try to blow it out with all the dust as much as possible. Does come with risers already installed. We will have to probably move and add some, but a nice amount of channel slots. So we have a channel for cable, so 2 on top. We also have one here, and here. Wow, that's a lot. So this is good for the 24-pin CPU pin and some of the SATA cables coming in, plugging into the USB ports down here. Couple slots here. It says SSD, SSD, SSD. So it looks like you can mount probably SSD hard drive, probably a laptop SATA drive here, and then it also looks like it has some trays down there as well. So that is a cool feature. A lot of ventilation on this case. I'm very impressed. Hey, you see the reflection of the Subaru. Yeah, I still haven't shown the Subaru yet, but eventually you guys will see that. Alright, let's open up the back side. Alright, went ahead and removed the back. So let's take a look. USB, everything cable managed in here, pretty nice from the manufacturer. That is very impressive. So all your USBs and everything, your USB 3.0 port, and also comes with a LED fan switch hub. That is nice. So as you see, you have 3 fans in the front. Also looks like it has other LEDs somewhere else. Oh, the plugins, nice. So that is a nice, cool feature. So got the instructions here. Cool, cool, cool. Let's see, 2 hard drive slots down below. Let's take a look. A box probably comes with screws, zip ties, the common stuff. Alright, some risers, some screws, a header with 4 speakers. Oh, motherboard speaker, nice. Haven't seen one of those in a while. Also comes with extra screws for the tempered glass. That is a first. Even with my Fantex case, I did not get any extra ones, and I did lose one. So that is cool. Very impressed. That's the first time ever installing one of these cases. And again, this is the DIYPC. This model of this case is called the Vanguard RGB. So that is a cool little feature. Alright, put this back in there. Snaps in pretty good. That's what we like to see. Alright, let me lay it down and we're going to start building. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually unbox the motherboard first. Just take a look at the motherboard. Now, I'm not going to do a complete follow through on this whole build. I'm going to do little clips after the motherboard, CPU, and memory is installed. Then after installing the water cooler and stuff like that. I do apologize. I'm actually using my Sony camera. Normally I do a time lapse on build videos using my GoPro. Unfortunately, my GoPro did take a poop when we were on vacation, and sacrificing now using my Sony. But hey, no problem. We'll eventually get another one. Alright you guys, so check this out. So I unboxed this little box, And what was inside that box is this sweet Asus Strix and Wi-Fi antenna. Look at that. That thing is awesome. So it also comes like with a stand where you can actually set this in. Now, as you see on here on the back of the board, you're going to have your Wi-Fi antennas. So that's where these two ports are going to actually screw into here, and then you can put this on top of the tower or something. So that is cool. I wish they would have did the two antennas, still gave you the option to do two antennas sticking up here rather than having to place this somewhere. But hey, we'll make it work. It is a nice design. It's different. A lot of people just go straight with the antennas here. So let's go ahead and continue. Alright, so for us to mount the CPU to the board, we have to open up the water cooler, check, make sure we have the correct brackets and everything. So EVGA water cooler gives you a couple of different designs. There's a little display of what the water cooler looks like. So nice little cool feature. This is a 240 millimeter radiator setup. So set this off to the side. Alright. Bam. Nice. So, here it is. So this does give you brackets for both AMD and Intel CPU, AMD and also Intel CPU brackets. Now I do understand it's a little hard to understand, and I sound a little funny due to my sinuses, but I do apologize. So it gives you all the screws and everything, so this is a huge plus. Everything looks like it is here. So, and then also the RGB to mini USB is in there as well. Awesome. So let's take a look at that. Look at that copper on that. Beautiful. I like to leave this on until last minute. The reason for that, it does come with thermal paste. Yes. This one does come with thermal paste already applied. So I like to leave this on as soon as possible until I start installing the CPU and I'm ready to seat this on there. I will leave this on there. As you look at the front, nice glass looking EVGA. That is supposed to be RGB, so let's hope that is interchangeable with the color. Here is your hoses, nice nylon, almost feels like nylon. They're not steel braided. And then also your plug and plays. So boom. Let's take a look at the radiator. Now be very careful when you're pulling out the radiator. You don't want to damage the fins or anything. So 240 millimeter radiator, and it also comes with the fans already installed. So take a look at that. Very nice. My question is are these going to be very quiet fans? I'm real particular about fans, but I also like a lot of airflow. My fans, you could probably hear in the background of my computer. It needs to be cleaned. Alright, you guys, so a little quick tip and little trick with the EVGAs, the Intel bracket. As you guys take a look here, you will notice you have these that slide. Now this board is a LGA 1151 socket, so with this board you actually move these all the way in. Also, when it comes to these, you will use these. This has the M3 threads on them, so you'll use this as well as you lock down this, the actual water cooler heatsink. So just want to keep that in mind so people don't get confused, because there is a difference with these. So with these, there's a difference from AMD to Intel. And also you have different ones that are a little shorter threads and a different type of thread as well. So always read the instructions and keep that in mind. Make sure you're using the correct one. You don't want to install it and then it's not making contact to the cooler. That it would very most likely cause a lot of damage to the actual motherboard and the CPU. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get it installed on the board and I'll show you the next step. Alright you guys, so we have the bracket, the back bracket mounted with the risers so we can bolt up the cooler right to it. We have the Intel i5. This is the i5 9600K unlocked for LGA 1151 socket, already mounted there and as well. Now normally I do mount the RAM in there and then mount the board inside. But I'm actually going to leave the RAM out. The reason for that is going to just be easier for me to tighten up the actual nuts for the cooler. Just gives me a little more room to work in the case. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and bring the case back up here and install the risers, and then we'll go ahead and mount the motherboard. I'll show you guys right after it's mounted. Alright, so motherboard is mounted. As you see, you have a screw in each corner and then also one here. So it's about 3, 6, 9 screws. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right in that little triangle. 7, 8, and then also one back here as well. One thing I don't like about this case, yes, I know it's an LED fan back here, but I don't like the stress of this cable on top of this. I like, as you guys know and seen many of my builds, I like to keep this all hidden. So I will probably see if I can get some slack out of this cable and see if I can reroute it up, just to get a better clean look, because I would notice that right off the bat. So let's go ahead and continue and I'll show you guys the next step. Alright you guys, so what we have is we mounted the 240 rad up here, have the hoses coming down, and it's ready to the actual CPU socket and screwed down. Nice, it keeps the EVGA logo facing upright. And then this case, this case could fit a lot bigger radiator than this 240. Kind of wish I would have known that. I would have told him to order a bigger radiator. But hey, for what he's using it for, it's no problem. Now, the EVGA water cooler, this is something that probably some of you guys are wondering. This is the cables coming off. So here, what you have on this guy, it will show, if it can focus, to motherboard. So this goes to here. So as you guys see, you have CPU optional and CPU fan right there. So just as you read, CPU optional is top, CPU fans on the bottom. That's where you're going to want that plug to go to. So when this one says to motherboard, you're going to go to the CPU fan. So always make sure it's in the correct slot. This is so if you have it set up through the motherboard, basically it can control the fans here. On this guy, this is the other cable coming off of it. This says 2 fans. As you see, you have 2 females and these fans are 2 males. So what you're going to want to do is take these 2, and what I like, you don't want to see those wires just hanging out. So I'm actually going to run these back behind and run this behind and plug them in. You can use these top channels here to do so. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and it'll give it a lot better sleek look and less cables you're going to see when you're looking from the front of the case. Alright everyone, so we got those cables ran. Let's take a look and see how they look. So first thing, we're going to work left to right. So we have our HD audio, we have our USB 2.0, USB 3.0 and 3.1, and then we have our pins to our power switch, reset switch, HD processing light as well. So a nice clean way I like to do everything is keep it as clean as possible. So as you see, this access port is still accessible, and so is this one. So I tend to just push these cables and run them and channel them behind so they look sleek. So if you're looking from here, it looks pretty clean. Same thing with these. So now I will go through and I will zip tie these all together and clean this up a little bit more. So that is one way of doing it. And it keeps everything nice and straight and nice and very clean in here as well. So as you look, you don't see a mess of wires. You see wires that are managed correctly and looks very professional as possible. Alright, so we have the Corsair Vengeance DDR4 RAM installed. Mounted the P&Y SSD. Now this is the same hard drives he was using in his existing old rig. So the hard drive's good, so I'm still going to use them. I'm just going to install Windows 10 on this one. Now his two other hard drives, he had a terabyte hard drive, 3.5-inch SATA drive, and then he had a hard drive from an external hard drive. The casing went bad, so he ended up taking it out. So I went ahead and mounted it in here as well for him. Power supply is mounted in. As you see, all the cables and everything here. So I'm going to go ahead and start managing the cable through there, and I'll show you guys what it looks like after. Alright, everything is completely installed. So let's take a look. So all the cables installed, CPU cooler, SSD, two hard drives in here, and the EVGA 1060 goes good with the EVGA water cooler. Looks very, very good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and start assembling the case, put it back together, and then give it a shot of powering on. So there you guys have it. Buddy's build is completed and ready to install software and get it up and going. I really do appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. It has been a while since I posted something, but I definitely wanted to keep you guys in the loop that I am here doing PC builds. I haven't got a chance to record all of them, but this one I was able to, so I wanted to get it out to you guys as soon as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and start on the software end of this, and I will see you guys on the next video. And also stay tuned for future videos. Do let me know what type of videos you guys would like to see. It would definitely help me out for up and coming content coming out from me. I have been involved a lot lately with working on my car, so if that's something you guys would like to see, definitely leave a comment down below and let me know. As you guys can see, some of the pictures from Tail of the Dragon of the Subaru tackling that road in North Carolina, so that was very fun. Hopefully I can post up some videos of that. If you guys would like, just let me know down below if that's something you guys would be interested in seeing. Until then, this is Jay with Review It, and I'll see you guys in the next video.